Welcome to the RetroWolf podcast, episode number 20. I cannot believe that I've already done 20 episodes of the podcast, and it's very fitting that for the 20th episode, I have a really, really awesome guest. And today's guest is the man, the myth, the legend, Billy from the Game Chasers. How you doing tonight, Billy?
I'm doing good. It's my second time on, isn't it? Second time?
Yeah, well, the first
Yeah.
time was an interview, but yeah, this is your second time on the channel for sure.
Nice. Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Hey, thank you for coming on, man. I know you're a busy man, especially these days, working on the movie, working on the Blu-rays. I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you taking some time out of your night to come on the podcast.
No problem.
So, real quickly, if you would please, for the few people in my audience that may not be familiar with the Game Chasers, if you could just kind of tell people what your YouTube channel is all about.
So we've been around about, I guess, 10 years. 10 years now. It's our 10-year anniversary in April.
Wow.
But yeah, we have a series going out looking for video games. That's essentially what it is. And think American Pickers. It's all shot real life stuff. So it's nothing scripted. We just go out and we try to find some of the games that we grew up with, retro stuff mostly, and kind of just like relive those memories through the games that we find. And so a lot of it is definitely that, and a lot of it is just cutting up, ragging on each other and farting and you name it. So that's our show. For whatever reason, people have watched enough to where we're still doing it after 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fantastic show. Your editing is top notch. Your production values are top notch. Everybody in the show is very entertaining. You guys have great chemistry together on camera, and it's just, I think that's, all of those things come together to create magic, and people love your show. People fall in love with it. And me personally, I've got a personal story to tell you here in a little bit about it that I think you'll appreciate. But yeah, everybody listening, if you have not watched the Game Chasers, you got to check out the Game Chasers, especially if you're a video game collector. If you collect video games at all, retro games, modern games, whatever, you got to check out the Game Chasers, because not only is it a really entertaining show, but you're going to learn a lot about how to collect video games. You're going to learn a lot about how to find them, how to negotiate with people. So it's a great learning experience to help build your skills as a game collector, because I do think there is a certain skill to it to be successful at collecting retro games, especially nowadays with all the competition out there.
Skill, the skill set would be just persistence
And patience. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'll throw a link to the Game Chasers YouTube channel in the description down below, so be sure and check that out. Second thing, if you could tell the audience about the movie, kind of what the movie's about and where it's at in the progress and all that good stuff.
Well, me being I get ruts. Like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again, editing Game Chasers videos, making Game Chaser videos, and not to say that I don't still enjoy doing it, but when you're I guess a semi-creative person, you tend to just want the next challenge. I want to do something different, and so the idea of a movie was put into our heads by somebody, and it just kind of like resonated with me. I was like, you know what, let's do it. And hell, that was like 5 years ago at this point. And so we went through several incarnations of what it would be about, various ideas thrown about. And that process, that's a process all in of itself, because if you want to go down that, I'm going to commit myself to this big of a project, you want it to be the right idea. And so ideas were tossed around, drafts were written for ideas that just kind of went nowhere. And it really wasn't one of those things that I was like pushing for. It's like, we got to write down, got to sit down and get this script done. We got to write a movie. It was one of those things to where, just in the background, over the course of like a year or so, over the background, I just kind of let it flow organically. It's like, when the right idea kind of pops into my head, we'll start rolling with it. And the idea finally popped into my head, and I'm like, that's it. Because we had some crazy, stupid stuff, ideas, a lot of fantasy stuff, ideas. But really kind of boiled down to the idea that popped in, it seemed natural to do, would be something along the lines of something that everyone can relate to, and the heart of what we all do when we go out and look for video games and play retro stuff and connect with that. So once that, and when you feel that it's right, when you feel that it's right, you feel that it's right, and I'm like, that this feels right. Let's do that, and then it starts the whole process, a new process of like, okay, we got the idea, now let's make something out of it. Let's write the script. The script took like a good solid, well over a year just to perfect.
Yeah.
It's an undertaking, writing a feature length script. So some people can do it in like a couple of days, depending on what the movie is.
Right.
But some of the best movies out there, the script process took years to do, to fine tune. Ghostbusters was a completely different movie than what it first turned out with. It was going off into space and all this other weird stuff.
Yeah.
It happens, right? So, and then once we got the script where I was like, okay, this is where I want it. A couple of years had passed since the beginning of the even first idea, and I'm like, okay, now's the time that we're going to start crowdsourcing. Let's make it now, and that's what we did. But before you know what you need, you have to, kind of semi break down, okay, what this is going to cost, what this is going to cost, all that good stuff. So we kind of got a general idea, but with the movie making process, obviously it's a big, you work with what you have, and if you have a certain amount to work with, then you kind of scale back the script to make it fit that amount. But if you get a little bit more, then you can possibly add some things, do some things you maybe thought you weren't going to be able to do. And so that's where we're at it. And then I didn't know if we were going to get the money, and sorry, I'm being long-winded here, but
no, you're good.
I didn't know if we were going to get the money for it. Certainly wasn't going to be any investors. I mean, why would any investors want to, invest in some random movie by some random YouTubers? It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And we would have wasted our years trying to find investors. It just would never happen. So it's like, okay, well, if the audience wants a movie, then the audience will show that they want a movie by helping facilitate it by funding it, right? So and they spoke loud and clear and made it happen. So at that point I'm like, well, all about that. I was like, well, now we got to make it. So we the pre-production took about another year, and then actually probably about more like 9 months or so. And then we shot in November, and now it's been about 14 months or so, 15 months, and it's in the post-production process. But that's the life of a independent, small budget independent film. You can't just turn it out quickly because you don't have that big giant team like the studios do to help you work on it. Especially a movie like this where there's a lot of moving parts. It's not your traditional. It's not like Clerks. Clerks shot in one location in black and white. Probably shot it over the course of like a month and just like after work or something. Big deal, right? But this is with so many different locations, so many different. It's just so much. Very, very much. There were times I was on set. I was like, I'm way over my head here. Actually, most of the time when I was on set, I felt like I was well over my head there. No, but we got it done. It's in post production, and I hope to have it up by the summertime. That's the goal, and it's all thanks to the fans making it happen. And this is for them, and I hope they like it. It's it's a complete departure from our show. Complete different. This is obviously scripted where the show isn't. But that's kind of what we want to do. We want to just tell a story. We want to tell a story. What do I love about what we do? Let's tell that story. And so we told that story, and it's going to resonate with some people. Some people are going to love it, and other people they're going to be, what is this trash? That's just the movie making process. That's just the creative process. That's just, it is what it is. And you make something, you throw it out there, and you just hope people like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you tell everybody just without giving any spoilers, but kind of a good idea of what the movie's about, kind of the plot of the movie, without going into it too much?
Two characters named Billy and Jay, semi-related to us, but not quite. I want to go and basically retrieve the old NES that they used to have as kids. Because they haven't played games in a long time, and it's like they're at that point in their life where they're like, I want to revisit that that time when it was just so awesome.
Yeah.
You know, when certain family members who may be gone now were around, and you know, I know when we sit there and we get this NES and we find it, it's gonna re-jog all those memories. It's gonna everything. We're gonna feel like kids again. Let's go out. Let's go on this road trip and go find this thing. And of course, tomfoolery ensues because this is a comedy. I mean, you got to have the ha-has in it, right? Yep. So, but I think at the end of the day, it's a nice blend of ha-has and nice warmy feelings. At least I think so. I may be totally wrong when it comes out and people are like completely see it a completely different way. But you know, I can only you know, do what I think I would want to watch and I would want to see, and you know, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I've told people time and time again that, you know, based on what I saw the 4 days that I was on set, I have no doubt that it's going to be a great movie, because I mean, I loved everything I saw and everything I continue to see with what you share on live streams and the teaser trailers that you've released. That scene with the old man, I can't remember his name, but that scene with him, you know,
the character or
the character with him towering above.
Yeah,
that scene gets me every time, man. That plays at the end of that one trailer that you released.
Yeah, wait till you see what we shot. We had to get some pickup shots with him.
Oh, nice.
So obviously you weren't there, but this was actually this last November, a full year after principal photography.
Yeah.
So I had to wait because of the whole Corona shit.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Couldn't get a bunch of people together to shoot, and then kind of started to die down late in the summer. It's like, okay, I guess we can kind of go out and just do it. But then it's like summertime. We had shot the previous stuff in November. So at that point, I'm like, well, it might as well just wait till November. So everything kind of matches up. It looks the same, like trees and all that. So, so, but dude, like that stuff with him that we got, absolute gold.
Yeah.
Absolute gold. You're going to be, if you thought that was funny, you're going to be laughing your ass off at this part.
I can't wait, man. And I was fortunate enough to see some scenes with him being filmed while I was on set, and he is an absolute scene stealer. That man, and it's funny because he's not an actor, but he can act, dude.
He's not an actor. He's literally. I think when it's all said and done, you know, whether the movie's good or bad, I don't know, but I think I found my one true calling, and that is seeing talent in other people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's happened a lot on this movie. I'm like, so I think I may suck at all other things, but at least I can see when other people don't suck. And that was the case. That was the case with Roy, who excuse me, Ray. Sorry, we have a Roy on set, so I tend to get them jumbled, but yeah, it's Ray. His name is Ray, and he just a random guy at my gym. And I'm like, one day I'm like, walk up to him, and I'm like, hey dude, you want to be in a movie? Yeah. Oh sure, I'll be in a movie. I've always wanted to do that.
Yep. He's an interesting guy, man. I got to talk to him for probably a good 30 minutes straight when y'all were filming, whenever he was waiting for his scene, and he has more energy than I do. And he's twice my age.
He's 75.
Yeah.
75 or 76.
Yep.
And he goes to the gym every day, lifts heavy. He will talk your ear off. He has got a story for everything.
Oh yeah.
Any possible, like I could just like drop a toothpick on the table here and back when I was in New York, we had I invaded a toothpick factory. Me and the guys from the force, we did a sting on a toothpick factory, and Mr. Charles Bronson, he was a famous actor at the time. That's this kind of guy he is.
Yeah,
it's funny. He keeps everyone entertained on the set.
Oh yeah, he was very entertaining. He was acting out scenes from some of his favorite movies in front of me.
Yeah. He the only issue he has no filter, literally no filter. So he will say some stuff that's like, he's in his 70s, so maybe a different mindset than a lot of the people that are a lot of the younger people on set, and so he'll say something that might. Other people might construe it as being sexist or something. So I had to reel him back a few times. Because he'd say blurt out something like, I'm not going to obviously repeat it here, but he'd blurt out something, nothing like outrageous or anything. Right. Just like just something. And you'd see the fresh out of college interns kind of perk up and go, believe this guy? It was kind of funny. I
Yeah,
thought it was funny.
yeah,
I was still laughing at it, but I still had to be like,
yeah, yeah. You got to be careful.
I don't want people walking off set right now.
No, no,
I don't want to do that.
no. And you definitely don't want fucking cancel culture coming after you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for the movie. I'm probably when I get the Blu-ray, I'm probably gonna watch it like 5 to 10 times. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's my most anticipated movie.
Oh, well, nice. Well,
It
you're
is.
in it, so yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, yeah. I am. So I'm very excited to see it, and I know it's gonna be good. I have no doubt about that. Knowing how how the work you do on the YouTube channel just going by that, and the work you do on the Blu-rays and how much detail you put in everything, and how I'm sure you consider yourself sort of a perfectionist. I'm pretty sure you've said that before, right?
On this stuff, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, right. On
yeah,
this stuff,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And that can be a double-edged sword, but I feel like being a perfectionist has more pros than it does cons
Yeah,
because it
the biggest con is sometimes you don't know when to say
yeah,
this is enough,
yeah, yeah,
right? So,
yep.
and sometimes it does add extra. Like the Blu-rays,
Hmm.
they've taken a lot longer than I thought they were, but that's because I refuse to throw out something that I'm not
Yeah,
happy with.
yeah.
I've had to redo every single menu
Yes, I
on
remember you talking
all
about that
7 of these discs,
because of the
and
resolution,
we're
right?
talking, yeah, because of resolution, because we're talking hundreds of menus, and I'm having to reanimate, redo, re-edit, reanimate, like, and redraw in
Hmm.
some cases. And I didn't know I was going to have to do that,
Hmm.
because when I made these, I was under the impression, because I was mastering these for DVD at the time,
Yeah.
and I thought I had mastered them in 1080,
Hmm.
so I could downscale it to standard DVD.
Hmm.
When where in reality, when I went in there to do these new Blu-ray remasters, I realized that it was only 720,
Mm. Yeah.
but scaled down to standard definition,
Yeah.
and the rest of the Blu-rays are going to be in 1080. It may not seem like a big difference, but I've looked at them. I was like, can I get away with this? Can I just go
Hmm.
ahead and put the 720 on the Blu-ray? Let me see what that menu looks like compared to the 1080
Hmm.
one that I rendered as a test. And that's like, you could definitely see a difference,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when you're talking about, we're talking about the video itself.
Hmm.
It's hard to notice just
Yeah.
because we didn't shoot on the best camera with, a
Hmm.
lot of these first early stages we shot on a little handy cam of the show,
Hmm.
and you're only going to get so much quality no matter
Yeah.
what, whether it's
Right.
720 or 1080.
Right.
It's a little bit of a difference, but it's not a huge amount. But when I'm talking about the menus themselves, and you're
Hmm.
talking about these nice, crisp, retro inspired graphics,
Hmm.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a night and day difference between the 720 and the 1080. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta go back and redo all these, and oh my god, it's a nightmare. But to me, that's not necessarily being a perfectionist. It's just
Yeah.
making sure that it's done correctly.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, I mean, you're putting
so
yeah, you're putting together a quality product and making sure people get their money's worth out of it. So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, man, I'm super excited for the movie. And so what's I don't know how much you can say about this, but what are there still plans to do a premiere?
Oh yeah. COVID be damned. We're
Yep.
having a premiere.
Yep.
Whether people want to show up to it
Hmm.
or not, I mean, that's their prerogative.
Yeah. Yeah.
People have already prepaid tickets. It was part of the
Hmm.
it was a Kickstarter perk,
Yep.
right?
Right.
So you can get a perk. Obviously, with what you threw in,
Hmm.
you're getting tickets. So
Yeah.
uh so we have to do a premiere no matter
Yeah.
what. It's paid
Yeah. Yeah.
for. It's
Right.
paid for by people.
Yeah.
A part of that, from that money
Hmm.
that we couldn't use for the movie, just like,
Hmm.
there was a lot of stuff like with like the physical media of like the Blu-rays.
Hmm.
Those may have to be manufactured, and mailed out. That's thousands of dollars right there, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
The shirts, all the the physical perks like that. So a lot of people, I've seen somebody say, well, we had $150,000 to pay to spend on the movie. No, we
Hmm.
had under $100,000. You have to
Right.
take all that. um,
Hmm.
we have to get the Blu-rays made. It's
Hmm.
not, the money isn't going to grow off trees.
Yeah.
That's at
Yeah.
least $10,000, and then mailing it is probably going to be another $10,000,
Yeah.
20K right off the top. So
Yeah.
um, we that is, um, money that that's all been paid for. So that is something we have to do. We have to do the premiere, and I'm saying that and like, like I'm being forced to do it. And in one way, yeah, I have to do it, but don't think that if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't do it anyway.
Yeah,
Because this is
right.
this is this is this is our first damn movie. You think I'm
Yeah.
not gonna a premiere where everybody can finally sit down and watch it, and you can see everyone's reaction and look at the screen and
Yes.
see how they react? There's
Yes.
no way in hell we're not going to have a premiere.
Yes.
Wear a mask, sit 6 feet apart if we're still to that point or whatever. But we're having a premiere. The theater that is a Texas theater, and it's actually the place where Oswald was found whenever he
Oh
shot
wow.
John Kennedy.
Oh
Yeah, it's the
wow.
same theater. So
Yeah.
we know the owner. He's going to be open. We'll
Sweet.
do it, and it's going to be both exciting and terrifying at the same time. But we're going to do it.
Well, I mean, I'll definitely be there. I'm not worried about the virus, and who knows? By then, some of us may be vaccinated. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's that. But yeah, I mean, I'll be there, and if I have to, when I get home, I'll get a rapid test before I come to the house. You know what I mean? So just to make sure that I didn't catch it.
There you go.
Uh, so, but yeah, man, super excited. Now, I wanted to share a quick personal story with you, real quick, because I'm sure you've heard stories like this from your fans before, but I wanted to tell you how your show, The Game Chasers, has impacted me personally, and how it's led to some changes in my life. So I got to go back just a little bit for this, right? So when I was, I've always been a gamer. I grew up with the NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, went on from there, and the console that really, really got me into the gaming though was the GameCube, and that's when I first kind of started collecting a little bit when I was younger with the GameCube. I think I had like 60 GameCube games in my library, and this was when I was a teenager. And like an idiot, like most of us do when we're younger, ended up selling my GameCube games, all of them, to get like the Xbox 360 or some shit like that when it came out. And of course, I regretted it. Well, one day, this was back in 2016, early 2016. I was talking to my nephew one day, and I said to him, how much I missed the GameCube and how I was thinking about buying one so that I can get some of the old games I used to have and love whenever I was younger. And he was like, "Well, hey, I've got a GameCube. I'll give it to you." And I was like, "Really? Hell yeah, cool." So he gave me a GameCube, and that was the beginning of me collecting again. That was the start of all this shit you see behind me. So I got a GameCube, started collecting for that, and of course it led to NES and everything else. But shortly after I started collecting again, my nephew said, "Hey, there's this show on YouTube you should check out." He was like, "It's called The Game Chasers, and it's like American Pictures." He used that show as an example, and he was like, these guys go around and they look for video games, and they're really funny. And I was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'll check that out." So I started check. It was like late 2016. That's when I first discovered The Game Chasers and started watching it. And funny thing, well, not funny, but one interesting thing is I actually binge watched pretty much every episode at the time, because I ended up getting the flu shortly after he told me that. So I was laid up in bed for like 3 days with the flu, and I just sat in bed watching Game Chasers episodes while I was sick with the flu. So I very vividly remember that, even though I was sick. I vividly remember watching some of the best early episodes. But when I started watching your show, it made me get even heavier into collecting, because I learned how to collect video games from watching your show. That's what taught me how to find games, how to negotiate with people. Every technique that I use to find games, I learned from your show. So I owe part of this collection to you and your show for helping to build my skills and techniques as a game collector. But eventually, as time went on and I started to build the collection, I started to look at my game room and my collection, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I love video games. I've got this big collection. So, I've got material that I could pull from to make YouTube videos. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel. and that was in early 2019. It was January 2019 when I started my channel. And so I say all this because it's funny how in life one thing leads to another, which leads to another. So, obviously I started the YouTube channel. And then whenever I found out that you were doing a movie, I was like, and I saw the Kickstarter, I was like, hell yes, I've got to be a part of this movie. I've got to support this movie. I was like, it's the least, I was thinking to myself, it's the least I could do to support these guys because they've helped me, inspired me to start a YouTube channel, helped me build my collection. It's the least I could do. So I was like, you know what? I don't just, whenever I saw the tiers, I was like, I don't just want to support the movie. I want to be a part of the movie. So that's why I supported the big tier, to support you guys as much as I possibly could and be a part of the process and learn the process. So, then as because I've told you several times, my time on set was such an amazing experience. Just those 4 days on set was such an amazing and mind-blowing and eye-opening experience for me that it made me realize that I want to get heavier and heavier into videography and filmmaking. So ever since then, no, November 20, it was 2019, right? November
For
2019.
with
When we,
shots, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So ever since then, I've been getting heavier and heavier into filmmaking and videography. Working on starting a business. I'm writing my first short film right now, working on a script for a short film that I'm going to try to shoot in the spring. And I know my first short film is not going to be any good. You know what I mean? It's just like when you start a YouTube channel, you go into a YouTube channel knowing your first few videos may not be that great, but you can't let that stop you from doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm going into creating a short film with that same mindset. I know I'm going to make mistakes. I know it's probably not going to be that great, but you got to start somewhere and then learn from that experience and build upon it. So I say all that to say thank you to you and your YouTube channel for being such an inspiration to me. And I know I'm not the only one. I know you've inspired a ton of other people. And also thank you for, giving me such an amazing experience on the movie set, letting me help out, letting me, kind of learn and soak in all this. Dude, I learned so much in just the 4 days, just watching everybody. I was like a sponge, just soaking in information. So yeah,
Yeah, it was
that's
a learning experience for me as well.
yeah,
No, it's really super cool. Like
yeah,
when my time on this platform has run its course, I could always look back on moments like this and think,
yeah,
we did something
yeah,
more, a little more than your average, I guess your average, YouTube channel.
yeah,
If we can inspire and, change, change. Hey, I'm hesitant. I want to say change lives, but I don't.
yeah,
That sounds like such hyperbole to
right,
me. It's just like
yeah,
we're not out there like curing cancer
yeah, right,
or some kind of youth program,
yeah,
helping teens, change their life around anything.
right,
But you know what I mean? Like if we can help somebody
hmm
kind of like discover
hmm
like a little bit of like, oh, I didn't know I had a passion for that. Now I have a
exactly,
passion for that,
exactly,
sort of thing. Just plant a seed, maybe
hmm
have somebody, it's super cool to me. Like
yeah,
that's more than, that's more than I bargained for whenever we first started this channel,
yeah.
that kind of stuff could happen. So, it's always cool for me to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, and just to add even more to it, inspiring people like that and helping people discover a new passion in life can also be good for their mental health. I mean, I can say personally that starting the YouTube channel, getting into videography, getting into filmmaking has really helped me be healthier mentally. So I mean, it's been great for me to help keep myself happy, stay busy doing something creative. Because I think everybody needs to try to do something creative in their life. It's
Oh
very
yeah, for
important. I feel
sure.
like.
Some people are going to have a knack for it. Some people aren't.
Yeah.
And just like,
Right.
just like everything else, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're good at some things.
hmm
You're not so good at other things. But you never know if you try, if
hmm
you don't try, so if
Yeah.
you have if you have a love or desire to, hey, I want to try that,
hmm
I think I want to try that, but you don't ever think to yourself, I might not be good at it and let that stop you or anything
Yeah.
like that, right? You go, you test the waters, you put your heart into it, and you kind of just see what happens. There's no guarantees with anything at all, at all. But a lot of times it's not about when it comes to the creative process and just making things in general. It's not even it's really it's about how does it make you feel, right?
Yeah.
How does me expressing this make me feel? And at the end of the day, that's really what matters. Sorry,
No, you're good.
there's domestic disturbances going on.
But yeah, so again, man, thank you for being such an inspiration and really kind of helping to light the spark for me to get into a new trying to figure out what I'm saying. I don't want to say a hobby because I'm not looking at this as like a hobby. I'm looking at this as something very serious, getting into filmmaking and videography, something that I want to try to turn into something, whether it's the business I'm trying to build or whether I can successfully make a good short film and maybe submit it to a film festival or something, I mean, I'm going into it not looking at it as a hobby, just like I do with the YouTube channel. Even though the YouTube channel is sort of a hobby, I try not to treat it like a hobby. I try to treat it like, I try to take it seriously because I want to make it the best that it can be. And I'm sure, you guys were the same with the Game Chasers show. I'm sure you took it very seriously. I mean, if you didn't take it seriously, the quality of your show wouldn't be what it was.
Yeah, I took them seriously at first, of course. It's hard. I want to say like now I don't take them seriously, but I still do.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just less. I'm less. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not exact. I'm not exactly as. Okay. So you know what it is? I think I'm trying to equate tone with my outlook on it, which I'm not really. I really shouldn't be doing that. My outlook, yeah, I still take it seriously, but I guess the tone of the show is a little bit more laid back now than it was, and I don't really. I don't really. I don't take certain aspects of it as seriously as I used to, I guess is a better way to put it. But yeah, if my mantra has always been, hey, just have fun doing it.
Yes.
Have fun doing it. And that's the important thing is to have fun. If you taking it seriously helps you to have fun with it, absolutely. Because, with anything creative, I see the best people are the people that can just really, really super enjoy it and just have fun with it, because then it becomes less stressful. It becomes less of a burden, especially when you're doing like corporate-y work.
Oh yeah.
That can get so, and I've been there, I've done a lot of that in my, I still do it. I still do it to pay bills. I had to go in December, this last December, and go shoot a corporate, some corporate stuff. It can be soul sucking at times, but you try to, you just still try to have fun. Like, as much as it's not as fun as like, doing your own stuff like the short film and like the YouTube stuff and the, stuff like that. It really, it helps to be like, okay, well, I could be doing something much worse than this is still even the boring corporate stuff still has an element of fun to it, because you think of like, what else could I be doing right now? I could be, I've had jobs where I've worked in factories, I've roofed houses for a small period of time, worked at a boat repair shop. I've done so many stuff, and so even those boring corporate shoots, seminars and stuff like that, it's still better than a lot of jobs out there. And sometimes it helps. It's healthy to remind yourself of that, because if you do keep it up, and keep doing those corporate stuff, there's going to be a time where you're like, oh my God, this is soul zapping. And I think anybody, there's so many people like us, and I went to school for film. I went to school to do stuff like that, and I got stuck in corporate world, the corporate video stuff, for decade, a better part of a decade,
Wow.
because it pays the bills.
Yeah, right.
You know, filmmaking doesn't pay the bills. When
Yeah.
you're first starting off, filmmaking doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
However, corporate work does pay the bills. So, you know, I needed a roof over my head. So I did that. You know, you see a lot of the people that worked on the set, you know, a lot of them are just like fresh out of school. Maybe they still live with their parents, so they can afford to, hey, I'm going to, you know, just take this PA job, production assistant job for about 3 weeks on a film shoot. And, you know, whatever they make, but they don't have to worry about having steady work to keep paying the bills, right? That's the filmmaking process. So the other people on our set who have been in it a little bit longer, you know, they a lot of them may get enough on just one job because they've been in it for a while, right? They've been in it for 5 or 6 years. They do their job really well, so they can command a higher price. You know, if they're on set for, you know, a month or 2 months, that's enough money to maybe keep them going for 4 or 5 months, because that's how it works in the film industry, right? So you're working for 2 months and maybe you're off for 2 months because there's no films being shot. So then you wait, get the call, oh cool, another shoot. And that's kind of how it works. You know, some positions different than others. If you're a gaffer, you can always pick up probably like commercial work on the side and other video work. But if you're trying to just strictly do film stuff, especially at least here in Texas, you know, I'm speaking, of course, I am speaking from a Texas standpoint, not necessarily a California where there's like 7,000 films a day. But even then, you have to look at competition. It's much more competition out there for more jobs, but way more competition as well. But here in Texas, that's just kind of how it works. So that's why I got sucked into, well, I was already out on my own, so I couldn't really be like, I'm gonna wait around for 2 months to get a phone call for, oh yeah, we need a production assistant on a film. Let's now I'm gonna get $50 a day or whatever. Oh, that's gonna pay my rent. So I got a job at a TV station and then a production house and all this other stuff, doing corporate stuff and then TV news and that kind of stuff. And soon my dream of doing a movie just kind of like, well, that'll happen one day. That'll happen one day. That'll happen one day. One day come along. Hadn't happened. Well, then it'll happen one day. And then before I knew it, I was about to hit 40 and I'm like, well, this is what I'm doing, right? That's not going to happen. And then the idea for like I said, like we were at a con and at one of the conventions. I forget which damn convention it was, but it's one of our mutual friends, actually somebody who works at Cinemassacre. Yeah, he came up to us and I was like, you guys should make a movie. And so it's funny, you know, you're saying how things work out, kind of like butterfly effect, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If that person hadn't mentioned movie to us, we probably would have never mentioned it. Was like, why would we make a movie? But that seed was planted, which led to us making the movie, which led to you coming to the set, which led to you doing what you're doing now. It's just so funny how things just kind of like just butterfly effect go into. There's just that one moment, that one moment right there at a convention where somebody walks up to us and says that. And I actually pay homage to the butterfly effect a little bit in the movie.
I love that movie.
I do too. Yeah. But when I say the butterfly, I don't mean the actual movie. Although I do love the movie.
The theory.
The theory, the butterfly effect concept, I guess you should say, with something that happens in the movie. It was the butterfly's fault, and it's just a little nod. It's a little nod to all that kind of stuff, and
very cool.
And who knows, maybe one day if we go back to do a sequel or something, we'll get real crazy with it and do like time travel, and then like somebody sent the butterfly. But that butterfly, it's like I say, it's at the beginning of the movie. That butterfly actually, because of what it does, propels the whole.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like the whole story wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that damn butterfly. And it's not like not like we sit there and focus on the butterfly. It's just a glimpse. It's just a little hint here. It's not even really a focus of anything. But cool. If you go back and you watch it, and it's like you think to yourself, well, if that butterfly hadn't have been there, none of this would have happened.
That's cool, man. I like that.
I like Butterfly Effect too. Some
Yeah.
deep themes,
Oh yeah.
themes in that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a dark movie too, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you watch the director's cut, or I forget which cut it is, but it's the one that wasn't in the theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sequel's garbage though. Have you seen the sequel?
No, I haven't
Oh,
bothered.
don't waste
I
your
love.
time.
I really. I saw that Ashton Kutcher wasn't in it, and I like him. He's.
Yeah.
I don't think the movie would have been as cool without him in it. But
No. So yeah, let's change gears for just a second. I want to ask you. Now I know obviously you've been very very busy, but have you had any time lately to play any video games? And if so, what have you been playing?
oh yeah, on stream.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
I've been streaming a lot lately. It's just a really nice way to get some finishing funds, and that's what we call
Yeah.
in the movie is finishing funds.
Yeah.
Just to kind of pay for the last remaining things. But just everything I think of, like anything that I can, like it's mostly retro stuff. Like I haven't played any like newer modern stuff. Like most of those games, they're pretty involved, right?
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
I don't really want to get started on some like
Yeah.
really cool RPG and sink tens of hours into it. And
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
be doing other stuff right now.
Yeah.
My time will come with that. When
Yeah,
all
yeah.
my stuff is done,
Right.
I can just kind of relax a little bit and do that kind of stuff. But as of right now, yeah, it's mainly just like retro games,
Yeah.
man. Like I'm getting to the point where I think I've mastered UN Squadron. I can beat
Oh,
it every
nice.
time I sit down. So I like to do that on stream a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying currently to get to beat Contra 3 on hard mode, the hardest mode.
Damn, man, that's rough.
It is rough. It's extremely rough. I've gotten to like level 8, 7, the second overhead stage.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's that final stage, that final boss is. I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, just it's a lot of that. Just just stuff that I can just pick up. Sink 15, 20, 30 minutes into, and then just get on with stuff. And it's usually when I do that, it's late at night once I've kind of finished up everything. My mind is just like a mush, and I'm like,
right.
At this point, I just kind of want to. I don't want to work myself to death, right?
No,
So
no,
I
don't want to do that.
yeah. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I kind of I try to just stream for a couple hours and I play lots of stuff. NES, Super Nintendo, trying to see if I can get like a controller adapter and do some Genesis stuff. But
That would be cool.
Right now it's NES, Super Nintendo.
Yeah. And again, everybody, I'll leave a link to the Game Chasers YouTube channel in the description down below. So if you want to check out Billy streaming one day, go subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and I'm sure you'll see that. And also, before I forget, Billy, can people still support the movie through IndieGoGo? Is that still open?
It is. I mean, it'll be cut off at some point, right? We have to cut it off. But I don't see it happening, within the next couple of months. So, I would imagine like probably May, June, somewhere around there, we'll probably say, okay, it's cut off time. So,
gotcha. And I'll throw a link to the IndieGoGo page in the description down below as well. If anybody watching, if you want to support the movie and you missed the Kickstarter, you can still go on there and pre-order the Blu-rays. So be sure and check that out.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. So I made the mistake of starting Fallout 4 again. So I've been playing a little bit of Fallout 4 here lately.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I didn't get much into it, but I really loved 3. I think I played 3.
Great, yeah.
I played it through twice. One evil, one good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I'm really bad at starting a game and not finishing it. So
I do the same thing.
I didn't get very far into 4, but I thought it was just as, I mean, not just as good as 3, but yeah. Same thing with Vegas actually.
Vegas is good too. Yeah.
I liked Vegas, but still didn't finish that one.
Yeah. Well, don't waste your time with Fallout 76. I don't know if you've heard what a disaster that game was. Yeah.
I've heard it's better now, but
it is better now. Yeah. I'll give them that.
I have no interest from what I saw. It just, the reviews I saw and some of the things that were in it, it just didn't really appeal to me very much.
Yeah. You're not missing anything. So I want to ask you this. I want to pick your brain a little bit because there are a lot of people that watch my channel that are fellow YouTubers that are around, kind of small YouTubers like I am. So I wanted to ask you if you could share maybe two or three good tips that you would say to a smaller YouTuber to, and it could be anything, any kind of tip that you want to throw out there.
Don't judge yourself by what you see others
Yeah,
on YouTube do.
that's true.
Don't. I've seen a lot. I'm seeing it a lot.
Hmm.
A lot of pettiness.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of I've seen this a lot, and that is, somebody's gaming channel, it doesn't get the views they want, so they switch to
Right.
being a drama channel, and it's like,
Oh
okay,
man.
why are you here? Are you here because you're
Hmm.
passionate games? Or are you here just because you want people
Hmm.
to worship you or something, and
Hmm.
you just want to get clicks and views?
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. Everyone wants views. That's why we even
Yeah.
put up
Well,
YouTube
yeah.
channels,
Right.
or put up videos. Who wants to put up a video and not have people enjoy
Right.
it and watch it,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know. I just have no respect for that lowest common
Hmm.
denominator
Hmm.
stuff. You know, you're passionate about something,
Hmm.
you make a video on it, and don't look up to others and say,
Hmm.
well, why can't that be me? Why can't? Trust me, I could do that myself. I got friends. It seems like all my friends on YouTube, um, that I started,
Hmm.
it's how it works in YouTube is when
Hmm.
you first starting off, you just kind of like gravitate towards the people that are
Yeah.
like similar size, and then you all
Yep.
just kind of like, hey, you become friends. And then
Hmm.
as you grow over the years, that group kind of maintains itself.
Hmm.
And it's like generations. It's almost like school generations, so it's
Yeah.
like you senior class and then you
Yeah.
graduate. And uh, I have it seems like almost everybody that were friends with, that
Hmm.
we were more subs than all of
Hmm.
them. Everyone has surpassed us by like a lot in
Yeah.
terms of subs, views,
Right.
everything. And it's not even so much about subs anymore on YouTube; it's about views.
Views. Yeah.
But when it comes to we got a channel. It's like over 100,000 subscribers.
Hmm.
So don't think that I'm not you know appreciative of
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of people are be like, I wish I had what you have.
Hmm.
So it's all relative.
Yeah.
But trust me, I could look up. I look up to a lot of people. It's like
Hmm.
I wish I could get the views you get. I wish people enjoyed our
Hmm.
stuff as much as they enjoy your stuff.
Hmm.
I wish that I could make a video and that wasn't Game Chasers,
Hmm.
and have people just as super excited about what that video
Hmm.
was, like all the videos you put up.
Hmm.
um and there's a lot of stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I try to keep I try not to let my mind go that way, because when you start
Right.
letting your mind go that way, it
Yeah.
doesn't really lead to anything other
It doesn't.
than negativity.
Yeah.
It's not going to help you in any way. I mean, you can look at somebody and be like, what are they doing? What can I do to kind of maybe
Hmm.
improve myself? Sure.
Hmm.
But, don't be envious.
Yeah.
If you're a smaller, you don't be envious of other people.
Yeah.
Sometimes, a lot of YouTubers you may be envious of are just dead inside. They don't want, you
Yeah.
want what you want until you have it. And then you
Yeah.
realize it's not what it's cracked up to be sometimes.
Right.
Um, just be passionate about what you do. Whatever your
Hmm.
videos are on, whether it's gaming or movies or anything, just be
Hmm.
passionate about it and make videos you're passionate about. That's why you're here. That's why you're doing this.
Hmm.
That's why you have a voice on this platform. Just do it. Um, but don't look at others and get pissed off and
Yeah. Yeah.
say that's why can't. And they even say it, it's like, it's what they feel,
Hmm.
but they're not saying it, but that's what
Hmm.
they feel.
Hmm.
Yeah. uh just don't let yourself go down that path. Just I've the reason I'm sitting here even saying this is because
Hmm.
I've literally seen it firsthand, like
Yes.
many times.
I've already seen it too.
Yeah, exactly. uh so you can tell those people, you can tell why they're
Hmm.
doing it,
Hmm.
why they're even making videos in the first place.
Hmm.
I'm not going to go too deep into this,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not because they're passionate about their gaming channel.
Right.
They're just that's not the reason. No, they're
Yeah.
being petty.
Yeah.
So don't That's some advice. Don't look up to others and with envious eyes. You just be yourself, be what you want to be, do what you want to do. And just because somebody, and maybe the videos you're making aren't getting a lot of views, but that's not a slight on you. That doesn't mean you're not as good of a person, or it
Right.
doesn't mean you're not worthy. YouTube is just, it's a
The
crazy
algorithm,
place.
man.
It's, you know, a lot of it goes into the algorithm. A lot of it is just, it's just too many people.
Too
Like,
many. Yep.
there's just too many. And I shouldn't say too many. That's a very negative way to put it. It's just a lot of people.
Yeah.
And with so many people doing it, there's only a certain amount of eyes that can be seen.
Yes.
You get on your stuff, right?
Right.
So, if you're not getting the views that you want, it doesn't mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not doing something right, or
Right.
you're
Yeah.
not entertaining, or your videos aren't good, or it's not
Yeah.
a slight on you. It doesn't mean and I think what leads to what we were just talking about is that a lot of people sometimes do take it personally, right? They're like, well, I just made this video, it's bombing. Now I suck as a person. Hey, I'm talking to you as somebody who has done that myself.
Right.
No, so I can sit here and give advice about that because I've lived it. Yeah, even me, like, who gets all these thousands and millions of views and all this love from the game chasers, all this love showered down on me, right? It's all relative. We all go through it. It's I just got to put in perspective like this. It's like I could put out a Game Chasers episode, and for the first week, it's going to get 50,000 views.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
For some people. That's a ton of views, and I'm happy with that because that's about what we usually get. I'm fine with that. I'm not looking to get 1 million views. I wish it'd be cool, but it is what it is. It's going to do what it's going to do. But I could put out a top 5 Friday and maybe get like 6,000 views. And there's been times where I'm like, oh my God. So I guess nobody gives a shit about only I care about what I just talked about. Oh my God. Do they hate me? Do they think I suck? Probably. But, but that's just, you just can't take it personally, right?
Yeah.
You can't take it personally. For whatever reason, you released a video that people just didn't resonate with. People are going to click on what they find interesting. And, it doesn't mean just because that video, maybe not has got as many views as I wanted it to. It doesn't mean I suck as a person. I may suck as a person, but for totally different reasons than because of that video.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to debate that, right? But it wasn't because of that video that I suck as a person. It's just YouTube. It's part of the game with YouTube, and I know it's cliche. It's super cliche, and it's something that's been said again and again and again and again. But there's a reason for it, and it's always going to be true. Do it because it's fun. Do it because you're fun, and you just want to have fun with it. If you do that and you keep that mentality, you'll always be successful.
Yeah. That's all fantastic advice, man. And some of that, I'm glad that you said some of that, because some of that is advice that I haven't had anybody on the podcast give yet. And it's true. And I have tried ever since I started YouTube, I thought about these things when I started my channel. These things popped into my head, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let myself fall into that mindset. I'm not going to let myself get upset if I release a video that bombs. I'm not going to let myself look at other YouTube channels that are becoming more successful than me at a faster rate, even though they started at the same time. I'm not going to let myself get upset by that. I'm going to continue to support them, as long as I think they're legit and genuine. And I've made a lot of great friends that are around the same level as I am, just like you did. And like you said, there's generations in YouTube. And I'm starting to see that because I've got a pretty tight-knit group that I communicate with and do collaborations with on a regular basis. But yeah, that's great advice. People that do YouTube should definitely really, really, really listen to that. Because you really should be doing it because you love it and you're passionate about it. Because there's no guarantee you're ever gonna make it big on YouTube. I don't see myself ever hitting 10,000 subscribers. I'm getting close to 2,000, and I'm very happy about that. That's awesome. But I'm not if I never hit 10,000, I'm not going to get upset because I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it. I have a lot of fun with it. And the day that I lose that passion and stop having fun with it, I'm probably just going to stop doing it because what's the point at that point?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's true. See, a lot of people, that don't get in it for what they love because they love to do it. A lot of them, and I know this firsthand. A lot of them get into it thinking, oh, this random person just made a video and they get all this, they think they become like this rich YouTuber or something.
Right.
And so they're like, well, I could stand in front of a camera and talk about games. I want to be rich. I want to be rich too. So they do it. They go, they set out literally to do that just because they think that's a pathway to some quick, get rich quick or easy money or something. The pathway to easy street.
Yeah.
And they get into it and they quickly realize that it's not, and it's not easy to stand in front of a video and or stand in front of a camera and talk about something and get people to just randomly watch it. It's not easy. It isn't. And the only reason I was able to do it is because I had a really good set of circumstances that kind of helped. Our first video that went up was part of a contest, and that contest ended up winning the prize, and so
nice.
It kind of got a lot of eyes on us.
Yeah.
It wasn't for that, then who knows, what would have happened.
Right.
We wouldn't be where we are now. So there's a lot of skill that goes into it. There's also a lot of luck.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will get into it thinking, I heard YouTubers can make a ton of money. So I read it on Yahoo News. I got a bunch of video games. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to talk. And by the end of the year, I'll be making thousands of bucks. It's got to be easy. Everyone can do it. They can just stand in front of the game room and just talk about video games. It's super easy. And then they find out it's not.
Yep.
And they get angry. They get pissed off and they start lashing out at the people that it is working for.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Those are the people that become venomous.
Yep.
Those are the people that become angst and angry and become bottom feeders because it's literally, the successful YouTubers are doing something that they can't do.
Right.
Or if they found out that they can do.
Yep.
And or at least can't do to the level of quote unquote success that they see others doing it in their eyes.
Yeah.
Oh well. I'm not, my first YouTube check, I'm making like 50 cents a video. So it's like, and I know that, and those people will become venomous big time.
Yeah.
We didn't even have, this is how old we are. The YouTube channel was about 2 to 2.5 years in before we could even monetize and make any money on it. Yeah. So the first 2 seasons of Game Chasers, it was like literally nothing, not a dime.
Yeah.
I started seeing other people getting monetized, and I'm like, well, yeah, that'd be nice. Of course it would be nice. Why wouldn't it be nice? But it was never the reason why the channel was started. It was never the reason why we started making videos in the first place. We were just making videos in the first place because, I was looking for that creative outlet because I was doing corporate work and I wanted, as I was telling you before, like I could never do like the film stuff. But YouTube is here now. Now I can, at least do some kind of something creative that I want to do and not just the boring corporate stuff. So that's why I started doing, the fun YouTube stuff. Yeah. And it took off. It was like people wanted to see it. And I'm like, well, this is fun. I'm actually making something now that I've always wanted to do. Not specifically Game Changers, of course, but just something creative. And people were actually liking it and enjoying it. Well, hell yeah. Let's keep this up. It's fun as hell. Yeah. So we kept it up, and then eventually the channel got monetized, and it's like, well, holy crap! Now I can get paid for all the work putting into it. These first 2 years, I was all that work, and obviously there's a lot more work that goes into a Game Changers episode than a standard YouTube video. Yes. I wish I could bring in the same amount with just doing videos of standing in front of something and talking and stuff and talking about the news. Yes, that is a knock on some of my friends that do that. I knock you for it in person, so I can knock you on it and on this interview as well.
I can't do news videos, man. I've thought about trying it. I can't do it.
I mean, more power to the people that can do that. They found their niche and it's working for them. Congratulations. I just can't do it. I wish I could, but I can't, and I'm not going to try. Because it's not what I'm made for. It's not what I'm passionate about, and it would just be work. And I'd much rather do what I enjoy doing. Could I make a hell of a lot more doing that on this channel? Yeah, I already have a set fan base and view. They definitely get views. Not as much as obviously like a Game Chasers episode and stuff, but that's when they're churning them out 4 or 5 a day. It doesn't matter. Right. You're gonna get the views anyway, even if each one is like 1,000 or 2,000 views. It's gonna all add up. Could I do that and make a hell of a lot more right now? Hell, yes, I would. But I would be miserable.
Exactly.
I would be miserable. And so so just the fact that when the Game Chasers episode takes a week to edit, that's a week out of my life. That's a full-time job, right? That's as a working adult that has to keep a roof over their head, dedicating a week to editing one episode of a YouTube show. It's nice to get compensated for that, and especially since I'm doing freelance work, and so that I count that as basically freelance work, but it's freelance work that I enjoy doing, and it's a fun project. So I add it. So that's what I do as a freelance. I'm a freelance videographer, do the corporate stuff, but also I count YouTube in that. So every video I make on the channel, it's essentially a business at this point, but it's a fun business. It's my business. It's a business I enjoy, a business I created. So I get to freelance for other people, but I get to freelance for myself and earn income doing what I enjoy doing. Some people don't like that. Some people hate that. So
I don't get it.
But it such is life. What are you gonna do, right?
I'm glad that you acknowledged just how much work goes into a quality YouTube video, because a lot of people don't realize that it's not as easy as it may look. I realized that the first video I ever made, I was like, holy shit, there's a lot more that goes into this than I thought.
Well, if you give a damn about it, it does.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
You could just sit in front of your computer, hit click on your webcam and do a video. And hey, you know what? Sometimes those videos do well. A lot of times those videos do well. And some of the most viewed videos, YouTuber videos, are those types of videos where they literally just, hey, go pull up a news story, click webcam, talk about news story, click, stop, upload. Do that 4 or 5 times a day. You're golden. But I know you actually care about, the quality of the video. Me saying that makes me sound like I'm being an asshole saying that people that don't do that don't care about the quality of their videos, but they kind of don't care about the quality of their YouTube videos. Let's just face it. And maybe, and I'm not, if you don't care, and then let me just say this though, like, I don't want it to be misconstrued. When I say you don't care about when I say somebody doesn't care about the quality of their YouTube video, that's not a knock on them. No, that's just not something they care about. Right. To each their own. Right. I'm not saying caring about your YouTube, the look and the sound and all the technical stuff of your YouTube video is right, and not having that care is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I don't care about having my truck shined and cleaned every day. It's dirty as hell right now. I don't care. That doesn't mean, I'm any less of a person or wrong as somebody who does it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the reality of it. If you're cursed with this let's call it cursed, but if you're cursed with this mindset that you want your videos, everything to look good, professional, nice, crisp, and you're happy with it, it takes a lot more work. And some people, if they took the time to do all that, their YouTube channel would just plummet, because they rely on constant upload, churning it out. And that works for them. That's how they make their money. That's how their YouTube channel is sustained. And you know what? If that's what's working for them, keep it up. Do it. Don't change. There's no reason for you to change. Why would you change? Why would you? There's no reason
Yeah,
to.
if
Keep
it's
them the way
working,
they
yeah,
are. Keep
yeah,
them the way they are. It's
yeah.
fine. But if you unfortunately, if you do care about, have them looking pretty, you're gonna be
Yeah.
sinking some time into them.
A lot of work, yeah. And just thinking about, like just the other day, I worked on a video that I probably put 4 to 6 hours of pre-production work into it, preparing for it, doing the filming, setting up, and then I probably put another 4 to 5 hours of editing. So just this one video, and it was only like a 15-minute video. So just this one video, I put easily 10 to 12 hours into it. And I can't even imagine how much time you have to put into a Game Chasers episode, considering the complexity of what goes into that, man. It's
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of times, a lot of people don't even take into consideration the filming too.
the
We're
filming,
out,
yeah.
we're out all day, possibly, sometimes 2 days on the weekend, all day long filming.
Yep.
That's part of the video.
Yep.
Whether you're recording your video in an hour in your room or you're, all day at the flea market, that's hours counted towards it. It's fun.
Yeah.
You get to be
Oh,
out the
yeah.
flea market.
Yeah.
You get to be at the flea market looking for video games. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it is still, it's for me, it's stressful too,
Yeah.
because I'm like, God, we got to find something,
Find
because we're not
something,
gonna, we're not gonna fake shit, right? So
Right.
there's been times where we've been like all day and just like not found anything. I'm thinking to myself, okay, we've been out all day and I have no footage for an episode. I just have nothing. And then sometimes it's like, I'm like, well, did anything funny happen that I can just like make something out of that? Like, I'm just scrambling, thinking in my head, like I go through everything that happened during the day and I'm like, God, there's gotta be a video in there somewhere. There's gotta be something. And then I can't tell you the euphoria I feel if we go out to the flea market and we actually find something.
Oh, I can't
just
imagine.
anything, silent service on the NES. At least now I can talk about silent service on the NES. I can,
Yep.
it's so, those are the best days when we get in the car after the day of being out all day and there's something that I'm like, okay, we can, at least it may not be much, may not be game changing, but I do have enough here to at least make an episode out of.
Man, I'm glad that you mentioned the drama channels, because that shit, I can't stand that shit, man. Drama channel, I don't get it, and people love it. People eat it up. They get so many views, because I'm the type of person, I like to keep as much negativity out of my life as possible. I try to have as much of a positive outlook as I can. I try to be as optimistic as I can. So I avoid drama at all costs, or anything having to do with drama. So I can't stand seeing some of these channels. And just like you mentioned, man, I've seen some channels that have turned from gaming channels to drama channels, just like that. And I'm just like, why? I don't get it.
Because they go from having 50 views a video to like 2 to 3, 400.
Yep.
That's why.
Yep. It's not for me, man. I don't like watching them, and I would never do a drama video. If I ever, and everybody listening, if I ever do a drama video, I want you to call my ass out, please. But I'm never gonna do one, so you're never gonna have to do that.
I mean, it's one thing that, like, if there's a topic, just random topic, just like, okay, you know what, I want to talk about this.
Yeah,
But it's like when you dedicate the rest of your channel to just shitting all over everybody else.
Yeah.
That just shows what type of a person you are deep down inside, I think. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, all right. So I asked you to give a few tips about for small YouTubers, and you gave some fantastic tips. So now I'm going to ask you if you can give a few tips for people that are interested in getting into filmmaking, or maybe they've started to get into filmmaking. And it could be anything to do with filmmaking, lighting, script, screenwriting, any kind of tip you want to give.
Well, that kind of leads me into what I was going to say, is find out what you are passionate about.
Yeah.
Because there are so many jobs on a movie set, right?
Oh yeah.
You can just say, I want to get into, I want to make movies. I want to make movies. Well, what do you mean? Like, do you want to direct movies? Do you want to write movies? Do you want to shoot movies? Do you want to edit movies? Do you want to light movies? Do you want to record the sound on movies? Do you want to do Foley, which I find fun? That's one thing I found on doing this is something I was like, I didn't realize I liked until I did it. Is doing the sound design.
Yeah.
Like when a scene, because when a scene is shot, a lot of times you cut off all the sound. Like you were there for that one scene. We were. It was where there was like a lot of people inside, right? You were there, and there's like one continuous shot. Remember how everybody was just dead silent because you have to record. You have to be able to record the dialogue of the characters talking. So, well, when that scene's created, and I don't know if you know this, but I guess the audience, I was saying for the audience, but when that scene is edited together, you have to basically create what that, and it was a party, so you have to recreate what that party sound would have sound like, and just create it from scratch. And so you're going through all these sound effects. I go through this library of sound effects, and then sometimes you just if you got to create what's called Foley, and that is just making it on your own, which I've had to do. Say you need like the sound of somebody knocking on the door, where you literally go with the recorder and knock on the door,
right,
and then record it.
And
it's not, and what the real fun stuff is, especially like when you're doing sci-fi stuff, is what's this even sound like? What's this monster sloshed around? What's it even sound like? So you just get to kind of be creative and create in your mind, just out of nowhere in your mind. What do you think it would sound like? And you just get to figure it out. Kind of like how, in Star Wars, nobody knew what the lightsabers were going to sound like. And Ben Burt just took a recorder over to like a power line or whatever, and it just made this weird feedback sound on the recorder, and that what ended up becoming the lightsaber.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then and then Chewbacca was like a combination of like a lion, and it's, I don't know, it's like many different animals. But I've found that I've I don't know, I really like doing that. It's, and of course I have to do it because we can't afford to pay a actual sound designer. But there are just so many different jobs like that, and sometimes you don't know until you get in and just do it. But I think one of the best things to do is what essentially you did was just go on set, right? Go on set. You can. It doesn't take any sort of degree or anything to be a production assistant, right? So you can go and just be, hey, I want to be a production assistant. Find Facebook groups that are film, and you'll start being production assistants on like short films maybe, and then eventually you'll work yourself up to some of the bigger shoots. But it's really, you have to you don't get caught up in the ideal that it's not exactly like a normal job. So a normal job, you go to school, you get the degree, and then you go do an interview, and then hopefully you get the job, right? Then you go do another interview, and you hope you get the job. It's not exactly like that. The film industry, or the film, it's like a community, right? It's like a community, like whatever you're at, like especially like here in the DFW area, and then Austin kind of has its own community, but they interact. It's like a community. You have to get to know people, become friends, get to know people. It's literally like YouTube. So you said you started networking with other people and networking with friends. It's exactly how it is in film. It's exactly like how it is in film. I just got a job as a second AD. We need some PAs. I know some people. Let me call some people up. Exactly how it works. It's not let me, everyone, hey, let's set up an interview process and everybody submit a resume or something. It's, hey, let me call this person up. I need this person. I need this person. Now that said, there were a few positions that I tried to meet and interview for, but it wasn't this formal thing. It was just, hey, let's meet at Starbucks. Let me just talk, get to know you a little bit. And but that was how it worked for us. It's like I met the first AD, which is pretty much the main person behind the director, the first AD, Rudy, and he's responsible for so much on the
Oh yeah.
film set and behind the scenes. And I was like, look, I just need a crew. Go get me a crew. And he was on the phone. Boom. I know this person. Oh, this person's not available. Oh, this person's available. This person's not available. This person's available. Within a couple of days, had the whole thing crewed.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
And that's just because, he knew people.
Yeah.
He didn't go on any sort of he didn't go to Production Hub and go, start looking resumes. He just knew people. Just like if you were going to be like, hey, I need some YouTubers for a YouTube video. What would you do? I know. I'm going to call out so and so. I'm going to call up so and so. Boom. That's how film works. At least that's how it works in this area. Maybe it's different. I'm sure LA is a completely different beast, but I'm sure at the same time it's still like that as well. It's not like you can do the job or you can't do the job. A formal education in film is great to kind of get you with the basics of how things work, but it's not like if you can't do the job, whether it be an editor or a graphic artist or something, it's not like, somebody's going to be like, well, you could do the job, but where's your degree? I don't see the piece of paper.
Yeah.
Just if you really like a certain aspect of a certain job, or if you just need to want to learn, or see what you like, just get on a movie set, start making friends, get in groups with filmmakers, and just start to get to know people.
Yeah. And
you'll find that, or even be like, hey, can I just come out and hang out on a movie set? I don't even have to have a job. I just want to see what it is, see what it's like. And, I would say that would be the best advice is just understand that, getting your foot in the door may not be as hard as you think it may be.
Yeah.
You just have to do it.
Yeah. Well, damn, Billy, you've helped me once again because to be honest with you, I wasn't even thinking about that. So now after this, I'm going to start looking up to see if there's any in my local area, if there's any communities of people online that kind of get together. Yeah.
Facebook is, you'll find a ton of different groups on Facebook. Trying to think of what else. You could always go to Production Hub. I mean, it's never a bad idea to go to Production. Have you ever been to Production Hub?
I haven't, no.
So Production Hub is a place where people can go and kind of submit themselves, say what you do. Maybe if you have a resume, you can even post that as well. And it never hurts to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it just to have your name out there, just to show, and like if somebody's in the area, you're in the area. So I need a production assistant. Yeah. All the names I've called, I can't find anybody. Let me just jump on Production Hub. Yeah. You show up. So it's, I would do that as well. And I'm sure there's, if you look at, film commissions, like your city, see if your city or whatever closest big city is to you, see if they have a film commission. Because like here we have the Dallas Film Commission and Austin Film Commission. I think pretty much every film city, I would think major city is probably going to have some kind of film commission. But they could definitely put you in touch with other people and help you kind of find maybe some groups or stuff like that you can kind of start getting familiar with other people and maybe putting your name in the ring to for certain things, because a lot of film commissions, what they do is like they're not gonna, the cities are stingy. I think at one point it was like maybe their job was to maybe give grants out to this independent film is shooting in Dallas, let's give a grant. We'll give them like a $5,000 grant to help out. So the film commissions have no budget these days in 2021. But one thing, but what they still do a lot of times is help staff. So if I actually was looking at them possibly at helping staff before we got in touch with Rudy, but they have like websites and stuff that they have a list of people that, if something comes up, they can be like, okay, yeah, we have this person, this person, could be available with you. So you can put your info in with them. And,
Gotcha.
that's, there's a lot of different things you can do to just, and, it's the more you do, the more you up your chances of getting on with something. But networking is, I think, number one.
Yeah, that's something I definitely need to do more of. And I'm actually I'm in a pretty good area because I'm right next to Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm 2 hours away from Nashville, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm about 2 hours away from Atlanta, Georgia. So
I bet Nashville has a lot of
oh
stuff going
yeah,
on.
yeah, I bet so too. Yeah, yeah, because it's like it's the country music capital of the world, right? So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a movie. It could be a lot of music videos. I'm
yep,
sure are shot in Nashville. A
yep.
lot of,
Oh yeah,
and in every city you're going to have a commercial shot. And each one, depending on the budget of those things, music video, obviously there's going to be greatly vast degrees of budget with those, but
oh yeah, yeah.
some of the mid-range to upper budget music videos and commercials, you're staffing those like you would a movie.
Yeah,
You're right.
absolutely.
So you're going to have production assistants, you're going to have lighter gaffers, you're going to have swingmen, you're going to have ads, you're going to, it's just like what you saw with the movies that
Yeah,
so don't look past those,
yep.
even if it's not necessarily a movie, some music videos could be like a short film, basically shot over the course of a week, with the same concept, right? So yeah, you can,
Yeah,
try to get yourself onto one of those as well.
yeah, yeah. And I'm fortunate enough as well to where if something comes up like what you did, with the Kickstarter for the Game Chasers movie, I'm fortunate enough to where I have a job where I make pretty decent money. So, when something like that comes up, I'm more than likely will have the money to be able to back it and try to be a part of it. I mean, I even backed another movie recently. I told you a while back, I backed, Nerdstalgic. He's doing a movie, so I backed that.
Yeah.
So once that gets going, I'm going to be able to be a part of that. So I'll be able to have another experience there.
When's that shooting?
I think he's shooting for spring, but
Is it New York? Where
in
is
New
that
York
at?
City. Yep,
Yeah.
New York City, which I'm not a city person, so that's going to be interesting. Never been to New York City before, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, and of
Are
course,
you gonna have to? I guess you would have to. That's gonna be a hell of a. Like you doing the entire shoot?
I'm going to try to do almost the entire shoot. Yep, if I can get off work enough for it.
Oh man, that's
Yep.
good luck getting a cheap hotel.
I'm looking at Airbnbs. From what
Yeah.
I've researched in New York, if you get an Airbnb for a month, it's actually around the same price as a nice. Well, no, actually, it's cheaper. From what I saw, it's cheaper than most hotels. And you can find relatively nice Airbnbs. But in New York, you can't rent out an Airbnb for less than a month. Apparently, you can't rent out an apartment in New York City for less than a month. So to get a Airbnb apartment in New York, you have to rent it for at least a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely dedicated. But honestly, that's a really cool experience though.
it is.
Like to New York City. New York City is definitely not a cheap place to shoot
No.
and not an easy place to shoot
Yeah.
with the permits
Yep.
and just the taxes and yeah. So I while it would be a pain in the ass, I think it'd be a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that myself. I wouldn't want to deal with the logistics of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Right.
dealing with the logistics on our movie, of course, I didn't necessarily have to deal with them, but I know I had to secondhand deal with them, just getting the permits and clearing a lot of things with the city and all that stuff. It was kind of a pain in the ass, but compared to what I'm sure it is in New York, yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with that. But
Yeah. Yeah. I can't
just
even imagine.
but just to be a part of, like, just do some job on a set on a movie
Yep.
that's shot in New York, I think it
Yeah.
would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And essentially, I'm going to be a production assistant for this.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's kind of because, I can't say too much, you understand, there's some stuff I can't talk about, but essentially I'm going to pretty much be a production assistant. So I'm really looking forward to it. And then, of course, if you do a sequel to the Game Chasers movie or any other big project like that, and if you do another Kickstarter, I'm going to be there for that. So you can definitely count on me to be a good backer for sure.
Well, hopefully, if we do a second one, the budget will be enough that we could actually pay you to work instead of vice versa.
Yeah.
But
But
we'll remains to be seen.
yeah, right. But yeah, man, that was great advice. So I'm going to start networking now, because that's something that honestly, I really wasn't even thinking about it a whole lot. I think I've been so focused on the networking side of YouTube that I kind of forgot about the networking side of filmmaking.
Hmm.
So definitely going to get into that. Now, here's a question I wanted to ask you. Have you ever thought about making a Game Chasers video game? Because I got to thinking you could make a Game Chasers video game, and it could work just like the Angry Video Game Nerd game. I don't know if you've played it, but it works.
I've seen it. I've not played it.
It's so much fun, man. So much fun.
Oh, I've been meaning to get it.
Yeah.
Because it came out on Switch recently.
It
So
did, yep.
I have wanted to get it. I just hadn't got
Yep.
around to it. Yes, that has come up through the God since we've been doing this. It's come up at
I bet.
least 3 to 4 times. Somebody
Yeah.
will come up to us and be like, "We want to make a game
Yeah.
with you guys,"
Yeah.
and just I don't know, for whatever reason, it's never really gotten past the just here's the idea stage, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, like the movie got past the obviously got past the into the pre-production and stuff, but we never wasted too much time on any sort of idea. It was like I think there was one night we had this idea and we kind of spent the entire night kind of drafting it out what it would be.
Yeah.
It was going to be like an RPG.
Oh yeah.
Nice. The idea was, well, you got to go collect games, so it's Game Chasers RPG. And
Dude, I think that would work perfect.
Yeah, we were thinking about, okay, what would the parties be? What would the characters be? What would we were even thinking about summons? What would the summons be? MC Melvor's summons would be like a bed falling down on the enemies or something like that. Yeah, so we spent the night. It was just all those fun things. We just kind of spent the night. Had no idea what was involved with making a video game. No, at that particular idea that we had, there was nobody that actually came up and said, "Let's do a video game." It was just like, if we were going to do a game, what would it be? And then we just kind of just start fucking around with it.
Yeah.
And then with us the way we are, we forgot about it the next day. So that's how it kind of tends to work with us.
Yeah.
At least in our early days, I think we've matured a lot since then. Kind of. In some ways, I follow through. I follow through now on the things that I start. But yeah, there's been different ideas just kind of thrown around, but different people, like actual companies have contacted me and been like, hey, let's do some game, and just never. The idea was there, but or just a rough sort of idea was there, but it never really nothing materialized from it.
Yeah.
Someone said it could be like a beat 'em up or something, which fun. I like beat 'em ups, and I think they're okay. But I still think the RPG idea would probably make the most sense, because we're literally what we'd go out there and do, or at least like an action adventure, sort of like a Zelda or something.
Yeah.
But something that it's like you're going out exploring. That's kind of what I think a game should be, because that's what we do.
Yeah. You know what, that makes perfect sense. I didn't even think about that, honestly, and now that you said that, I'm picturing it. I'm picturing what this game would be in my mind, and damn it, I want to play it.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, maybe one day. You never know. If the movie's a success, it might. It may spurn some interest in more of what we do, and maybe one of those things that we do is a game. So and the concept isn't totally off the table, but it's nothing that I'm really thinking about right now until I get all what I already have off my plate cleaned off. So,
what about a video game version of the movie, and that be an RPG?
Oh yeah, I think that'd be good. Yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, my gears are just turning right now. You just got me thinking about something. Yeah, actually, yeah. I didn't really think about
Hmm.
a movie tie-in specifically to the game, but more of the game being just overall
Yeah.
game chasers. But yeah, I mean, it could be something like that. Yeah, yeah. I, mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it would have to be a little bit more
Hmm.
to it than what just the movie is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it could definitely be like some kind of tie-in. Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think you should make it happen, Billy. I'm telling you, man. I think, nowadays there's so many indie game studios out there that are super talented. You could find somebody and get a publisher, a good publisher, and you wouldn't. I mean, you would just be there to provide direction and make sure the source material's straight and make sure the game is what you want it to be. And I think you could. I mean, not only would it be another revenue stream for you, but it would also get more eyes on the YouTube channel, get more eyes on potentially the movie.
Hmm.
But man, I hope to one day see a Game Chasers video game. I really do. I would love that, man.
Well, I would too.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be cool. I think it'd
Yeah.
be kind of like, I don't know. I guess kind of like the bow
Hmm.
with the bow on top
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
of the series,
Yep.
because series isn't going to last forever. It's probably dwindling down here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We did it for 10 years. What are we going to do it for 20, right?
Right.
So started off fighting games and then
Hmm.
make our own. Yeah, be kind of poetic in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be awesome, man. The final question that I want to ask you, man, because I know you've had to deal with this, because I mean, anybody that finds any success in YouTube deals with this shit. And I wanted to ask you, because I've started to see it a little bit, even though I'm still really, really small, I'm starting to see it a little bit. How do you deal with the negativity and bullshit that you see online, especially on social media, and like trolls and people that just want to hate
Right.
on you? I mean, you know what I mean? How do you deal with that, or do you have any advice on how to deal with that whenever you start to see more of that in your YouTube career?
I look at it. I look at two. To me, it splits into two, right? So you have the people that are just going to be trolls, just to be trolls.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
They're gonna say you suck. The movie sucks.
Yeah,
Uh, you're ugly. Yeah, your show is awful. And that's fine. I have no problem with that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
hurts me deep down inside.
Right. Yeah,
I go to bed and cry myself to sleep,
yeah,
and reevaluate my life. But
yeah.
at the end of the day, I promise you, I don't care.
Right.
Uh, I know not everyone's going to like us. Hell,
Yeah, yeah,
if I was just stumbling on our show, I probably wouldn't like it. I don't care.
yeah,
I've people were saying that the first damn episode we put up. 10 years later, I'm still hearing it.
yeah,
You really think it's anything to me now? But no, that's one thing, and that's the internet, right? That's just gonna
yeah, yeah.
happen.
Of course. Yeah.
Um, it's the people that make up the lies.
The lies.
It's the
Yes.
people that make up the lies. It's the people that slander. It's the people that say the most god awful, inappropriate things,
Yep.
accuse you of those things,
Yep.
and then throw them out there as if they're true.
Yep.
That I have a big fucking problem with.
And you should. You should. I mean, yeah,
There are people that has gone out there and just said blatant lies about what we're doing with the movie.
Oh, I've seen it.
And,
I've seen it,
and
man.
other people go, "Oh, wow, that's true. I didn't know that." And I'm not even going to say some of the other stuff that they say because it's. I don't even want to give it any sort of credence.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I have a problem with that. With that said, I still don't. I don't go out there and seek it. I know
Yeah.
there's people that make videos, with that kind of shit in it, and I've made it my goal in life going forward is to just ignore it all.
Yes.
But over the past year, it's because it's ramped up because of the movie. I just said to myself, I can't. I just have to ignore it.
Yeah.
They're gonna lie. They're gonna lie. People lie. People are just assholes. They want to lie. There's nothing you can do about it. There's not a damn thing you can do about it.
You're
People
true.
are just gonna lie because they're miserable, I guess. And so I've just kind of I've ignored it. I don't go out and watch those videos. I don't seek out any of that stuff anymore. I ran across one, like, I don't know, it was like 6 months ago or so, by some dude, and I responded to it, but it wasn't like he did a review of the trailer.
Yeah.
But he really wasn't like, I thought he was fair with it,
Yeah,
or somewhat
yeah.
fair with it.
Yeah,
You know, it wasn't, you know, he had some criticisms for it. But it wasn't like he was like, you know, fuck these scumbags, these
Yeah,
pieces
right.
of shit scammers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I thought he was somewhat fair,
Yeah.
where I didn't agree with some of the things he said. I respectfully kind of clarified some stuff
Of course.
and was done with it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I said my piece nicely, and I said it in a nice, respectful way, because I felt that your video was, for the most part, respectful.
Yeah.
You know, you earn respect by, giving respect. So I'm perfectly fine with that. He had criticisms. I handled the criticisms the way I felt, and I wasn't rude about it. And you know, he responded to, said thank you, blah blah blah, cordial. It was all fine. That's the way it should be done, right?
It is. Yep.
Right, it's the way it should be done. So that, you know, but other than that, it's like, now sometimes they will rear their ugly head on the channel.
Yep.
And if somebody wants to say, oh, you know, there's some negative comments on the teaser trailer that we put up. They're up there. That's fine. You want to say the acting is cheesy? Okay, whatever. What I'm not going to tolerate is you coming in here and saying, "Oh, you're a bunch of scam artists and stuff like that."
Oh,
You know,
man,
I'm not going to, because why? Because we crowdsourced the movie. Okay. Despite the fact that thousands of people have done it, when we do it, we're scam artists. Okay.
Right.
But I block them. Like, I block them. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit there and listen to that bullshit.
Nope. You shouldn't have to.
Because you don't have any idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
And a lot of these people hide under the guise, well, it's criticism. Well, it's criticism. No, it's you being able to be the biggest dick you want to be.
Yep.
Under the safe space umbrella of being critical.
Right.
Right. Being critical is exactly what I was talking about with that other dude.
With that
right.
one, yep.
Being respectful, bringing up points, not coming over here slandering. That's not being critical. And so I know I don't tolerate it. I just, and most of the time I don't respond either. You're not worth my fucking time. Gone. I'll never have to fucking see your bullshit again.
Yep.
So, hey, every time somebody does that, I kind of clap my hands. So that means I know who to get rid of for now.
That's one less person. Yep.
There's one less person. Now there's been other people that's come in and said stuff like, oh, maybe just misinformed or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
You know, you shot, one person came in and said, well, you only shot this movie over the course of 6 days. And I'm like, what? No, we didn't. Like, and I responded to that because now I'm curious. It's like, where the hell do you even hear this stuff?
Yeah.
Where does this stuff come from?
Right.
And if I generally think that somebody is just, hey, maybe they're misinformed, maybe they just got the wrong idea, maybe I'll respond and just be, hey, look. And sometimes I could be snarky because I'm in a rotten mood. I'm only human, right?
Yeah, we all have.
I'm only human, right?
Yeah.
If somebody comes in here and wants to be snarky, and I'm going to be snarky back sometimes. If I feel like responding that day, you know, I'm not a perfect person. I don't try to be a perfect.
None of us are.
But not like 90% of it, like, I just don't even deal with it.
Yeah.
If you want to come here and be respectful and give respectful criticism, I'm not gonna censor that, right? But if you're gonna come here and be a bitch dick, yes, I am going to. I'm going to censor you because I don't want to hear your bullshit anymore. Because you've just proven to why you're here. You're here to hate and not to criticize. You're here to try to bring me down for whatever reason because you hate your life or something. But you know, with all that said, it's like. Here's kind of the takeaway. It's like you're you know, it's the internet. You're gonna have people that just don't like you and don't like what you do. Yep. Okay. At the end of the day, who you know, you have every right to not like the movie. You have every right not to like us. You know, you have every right to voice that opinion. Um, you don't have every right to go around and just throw lies about people around.
Exactly.
That's just it's like how would you feel if somebody did that to you, right?
Right.
Like how would you feel if like somebody like just took something completely the wrong way out of context or just made up something blatantly wrong about you and then just threw it out there and told a bunch of people about it. Like it's like put the shoe on the other foot, man. You know, don't at least understand what if you're going to be critical, at least understand what you're talking about. Understand what you're saying and try to be as truthful as you can about the stuff that you're bringing up.
Yep.
You know, and you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, people just are just gonna gonna dislike you, and you have to get over it.
You know what I've come to realize, Billy, is these people are the vocal minority, but unfortunately they tend to have the loudest voice, sadly. But a lot of these people, like you said, man, a lot of these people are so miserable with their own lives that the only way they can feel better about themselves is to try to make other people's lives miserable.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
yeah. That's a lot of what it boils down to.
yep,
But
yep,
if you want to have some valid criticisms, I mean, be my guest.
yep,
Like I said, that one dude, watch
yep,
the trailer, um, was respectful with his criticisms. I had no problem with it.
yep.
I didn't like it, but I treated it with respect.
Well, Billy, man, thanks again for coming on the podcast, dude. It means a lot. It's been a lot of fun talking to you and chatting about some of this stuff. And again, everybody listening, Game Chasers YouTube channel, description down below, IndieGoGo for the movie, description down below. Be sure and check both of those links out. And Billy, do you have anything else to say before we close it out?
Uh no. No, just thanks for having me on, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. You know, it's always a good time.
yeah.
You're very well prepped with these things, so it's appreciated.
Thanks, man. I try to be. I try to be. All right, everybody. As usual, keep playing games and having a good time. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Later.